Good morning and welcome to Free Advice Friday. My name is Keri Barnum for New Shelves Books, and we are here to talk about publishing, marketing, anything having to do with the business of being an author. We meet every Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern. You are welcome to join us live by going to newshelves.com/FAF. We also do put all our replays up on YouTube, so you can find us over there at youtube.com/newshelvesbooks. I hope you subscribe, and if you have questions, you can certainly submit them through YouTube as well. So with that, we have some questions that are live today. We're going to jump into those. And the first one is talking about publishing a second edition of a book. And there are a couple of reasons why you might want to do a new edition of a book. For example, your book may be a little dated. You may need the same content, but it may need to be updated, especially if it's nonfiction. You might have new things, new research. So you might want to do that. Or you may have been with a publisher and gotten the rights reverted, and now you would like to republish or self-publish your own edition of the book and continue to sell the book. Or maybe you just need updated cover. You want to kind of get it back on the market. There's lots of legitimate reasons for doing a second edition of a book. When we're thinking about a second edition, there's a couple of things that we do need to think about. Number one, why are we doing the second edition? I know that sounds kind of obvious, but here's the thing is that there are legitimate reasons for doing a second edition because you do need to update the cover or because it's something that you have new information for. But I also see people who just continually keep on republishing the same book over and over, hoping that they'll have better success than they did the first or even the second time for launching it, instead of writing a new book. And sometimes I have to be honest, you guys, sometimes it's just a waste. If the book has gone out and if it didn't hit the market well, there's something to be said for maybe rebranding or even relaunching. But if you've put a book out and it's not selling or got poor reviews, unless you're changing something drastically, unless you're rewriting, adding new information, republishing or just publishing it again and again so it looks new isn't really going to help you out. And usually in those cases is when I say, okay, what else you got? Let's go write something else. But let's assume we're in the category of republishing, either because you got your rights reverted or you're doing a second edition with more information, whatever it may be. If you're doing that, there's a couple of things you need to know. If you're doing a second edition and you have your rights reverted from a publisher, you need to get that rights reversion or that proof that you now have the right to publish the book. You need to get that in writing, either because it's a contract that has ended and you have proof of that, or you get reversion rights in writing saying that you now have the rights to publish the book. Amazon has had a lot of problems with this more recently, as has Ingram Spark. And so they're checking more and more. I have done, I think 2 or 3 just in the last quarter. I've done 2 or 3 second editions where rights were reverted, and they have asked for some type of contract or proof that that person had the rights to publish the book in every single case. So you should have that on hand. The other thing to consider is that if you'd like to link your first edition and your second edition, so you have a book out by a publisher, you get your rights reverted, and you're going to publish under your own print, publishing imprint. Perfect, fine. You get your own ISBN, all the good stuff, but you want to link the old and the new edition because you had, I don't know, you had 200 reviews for the old edition and you want to link them so you keep those reviews. You need to remember that the title and the author name have to be exactly the same in order to link a book for first and second edition. So the cover can be different. You can update the interior. Sometimes you can get away with a subtitle change, but the main title and the author name need to be exactly the same if you'd like to link them and have reviews and all that good stuff go over from the first to second edition. The other thing that you want to think about if you're going to do a second edition is the timing of it. So for example, if you are getting your rights reverted, you need to make sure that the publisher is prepared to remove their edition before you put yours up. So you want it to be kind of seamless in the sense that you want to either put your book up and have the publisher remove their version of the book very quickly, or you need them to take down their version of the book first before you put your book up. Sometimes it is required by Amazon, KDP, Ingram Spark, that the first edition is no longer active before they will allow you to upload that second edition and make it go live. So these are just some of the things you need to think about as far as timing and making sure that you think through those details. If, for example, you go, well, I want to do a second edition, but the first one bombed. It was horrible. I've made updates. I've made changes. I need to separate. So I don't want to link the first and second edition of the book. I want a new title, a new cover. I want it to look like a new book. You can absolutely do that. You can do a new title. You can even use a pen name if you'd like. Just know it's starting kind of from fresh, but it is required that it's listed on your copyright page, previously published as, and you list that first title. And it's also required, according to Amazon's terms of service, it is required that you also put that somewhere on the sales page. This is to help ensure that the people who purchased the older book that had a different title are not going to purchase the new book with a different title and then be very upset when they realize it's essentially the same book. So it has to be listed on the copyright page as previously published as whatever the title was. And then that needs to be on your sales page as well. So that's really important to know that if you're going to switch the title, you can do that. Again, you may need to have some type of contract or something that says, you know, yes, we acknowledge this was previously published. However, it's still copyrighted by me and it's being published. So those are the things you might need to think about, and it needs to be listed. So another question was asked is if I terminate an agreement or if I get my rights back from my publisher and they unpublish my book or they unlist my book on Amazon, does my Amazon author page go away? And the answer to that is no. If you've gone to Author Central and you've claimed your author page, that is your author page. It's your account as the author. This is not something that is owned by the publisher. It is owned, I mean, it's owned by Amazon, but it's your account, so you control it. So even if they delist your book, your Author Central account, your author page on Amazon will stay active. Also keep in mind that once you get rid of an ebook, the ebook kind of disappears. Like it's like it was never there, but the paperback does not, because Amazon accepts resellers. So they allow people to go on as a seller, kind of like eBay, which I know is a little old school, but it's that idea that a reseller can go on and sell used books, or they can sell, you know, copies if they have them in their store, their storage. So the old book, the old paperback or hardcover will never go away. It can be searchable by ISBN, it can be searchable by title and by author name. So that will never go away. It does live on Amazon forever and ever, amen. However, this is where linking can be a good idea, because if you have a new edition and an old edition with the same title and the same author name, you can link the old and new edition, which means that the newer edition will show up kind of first in searches. When people are going to the sales page, it will show up first. The old, you can buy used, and that's when the older edition might show up, or if someone's looking specifically for that. And if you have a older paperback and a newer paperback, for example, different colors or different, you know, what happens is that once the new edition comes out, the old edition may still show up in searches first for a couple of weeks, because it's driven by visits and algorithms. So the more people that you drive to the new book and the new sales page, the more that the searches and that kind of thing will start showing the newer book versus the old book. And if you have visited or purchased the older book on Amazon and you're in your Amazon account, or you're searching online and you haven't cleared your cookies, chances are that if you search, the old book will show up. So I've had authors come to me very frustrated because they say, you know, my new book's not even showing up. Every time I search my title, it's the old edition. And what it is that it's in their history from Amazon. So Amazon's showing what they've already purchased, or it's in their cookies online. And so those are things to consider as well, just to save you some frustration. And then finally, there was a question about ownership of the actual work. So in almost all cases, whether you self-publish or you publish with a publisher, HarperCollins, you go with a smaller press, doesn't matter, hybrid press, typically always the author retains copyright of the written work. That means you own the work. What you're giving or selling essentially to a publisher when you allow them to publish it is you're giving them print and distribution rights. So you will always retain, unless you sign away your copyright, which is not usual, not recommended, you retain the copyright of your book. You're just selling out or leasing out the rights to print and distribute the book. So you do retain that. And yes, if you do a new edition, you do need a new copyright page. So that's something that you definitely need. So hopefully that helps kind of clear up a lot of those things. I know that doing a second edition, a lot of people do it, and a lot of people do it, and a lot of people know just enough to know that they want to do it, but not enough that they're not frustrated once they get into the process. So hopefully that cleared up a couple of things, but for sure, you can always drop in more questions if you have them about doing a second edition. Let's see, Pat's question. I chose 3 good categories for my 3rd picture book, which I see on the KDP details page. But when I look at the paperback products detail page on Amazon, I don't even see the categories. What gives do you think? So that may have a couple of things to do with it. When you chose the categories, the question I would ask is, did you choose them for Kindle? Because if so, those are only going to show up on the Kindle. Each edition is different. So when you choose the categories and you're uploading them, if you're uploading on KDP, when you choose those categories, they are only for that edition. Kindle categories for Kindle. Paperback or hardcover have book categories, not Kindle, book categories. And so they're different. And if you uploaded to Ingram Spark and you are using Ingram Spark to distribute over to Amazon, that actually comes from Ingram Spark, and it takes a while for that metadata to kind of shift over. So that may be it. And if you're not selling copies of your book, I have noticed that those categories don't really take into effect until you've sold several copies of the book. And that's when they start showing up on the detail page and on your sales page. I think that's probably because you're just not ranking yet if you haven't sold copies of the book. And so that's why it's not showing up. So those are the things I would kind of look at and consider if your categories are maybe not what you thought they were, or if you're having problems with them. I'd kind of go through those steps. Let's see. Are there any comments regarding IBPA or Independent Book Publishers Association representation to sell foreign rights at the Frankfurt Book Fair? So a couple of thoughts there. IBPA is a very well-known organization. It is well respected. I am a member of IBPA, as I know are many other authors on the call and that we work with. We've actually had Lee Wind, who is working with IBPA. He's been on our show before. He's fabulous. So IBPA overall, wonderful organization. As far as representation to sell foreign rights, I've never done that program specifically. However, the Frankfurt Book Fair is one of the largest book fairs for foreign rights. So it's absolutely the place to be. And it really depends on the program. I think the idea is that it's not a guarantee that you'll sell foreign rights, but it does mean someone will be there with your book answering questions about it for the chance to sell foreign rights. So that's kind of what I'd say is just keep in mind, it's not saying you will sell your foreign rights. It means that you have someone that will answer questions that's representing you. So it's a chance. It's kind of like marketing. You know, you put your book in a magazine ad, and it means that you have exposure. It doesn't mean you'll necessarily get sales. And I think most of these things, when you have someone, you know, represent you at ALA or the Frankfurt Book Fair or anything like that, that's what it is. It's representation. It's being there, it's answering questions, but it's not a guaranteed sale or even necessarily a direct pitch. Sometimes it's simply having a table of books and saying, hey, if you have questions or you want to know about rights for any of these, let's chat. It doesn't necessarily mean a direct pitch for or about your book unless it's promised in the actual the description of what it is when you sign up. So definitely pay attention to those details. And if you have questions, the folks over at IBPA are lovely. I mean, all of them, Christopher, Lee, Nathan, they are just all lovely people. So if you have questions, ask them. They are really great about answering those. They also have live calls and things that they'll do. They've got a forum that you can go on, lots of ways to get answers from that. So, and if anyone's had personal experience, you can certainly jump on as well. Do most schools buy books through Ingram, especially in Florida? So schools in general may buy through Ingram. However, most schools, actually schools and libraries overall, their preferred way to buy a book is through Baker and Taylor. It is the most used platform for school and library sales is Baker and Taylor. With that said, most schools do have access to Ingram and most of them will buy books from Ingram, but it really depends directly on that individual school, that county, and their rules. So you would really need to reach out to that school and that county to find out for sure, because they have individual rules that are based on that local government. Sometimes government, it depends on how the school's funded also, if it's a private school or whatnot. Let me see. Any suggestions on searching film rights already sold on other authors' books? I want to refer a book to a screenwriter for development. I'm not quite sure what you mean, but as far as seeing if they've already been sold, that's kind of hard to figure out. You'd probably have to go right to the author and simply ask them to find out if the rights had been sold or not. I'm not aware of a way. I mean, you can certainly Google it, and if there was an article or a press release on it, then you would know, but I'm not aware of a public area where you can go in and search on other people's rights to see if they were if they're available or not. See. Any information on the Guadalajara Book Fair representation for foreign rights sales? Same thing. No personal experience there, but same idea. Yes, IBPA is wonderful. All right, I want to make sure. Oops, having a hard time here. Okay, let's see. Something that has been very much trending in the news, I'm sure you've probably seen it. If you follow anything having to do with publishing, you probably have seen the things going on over with Jane Friedman. So Jane Friedman is another industry professional who keeps up on the industry in general. And she's gotten quite a bit of press over the last couple of weeks because she had someone who was publishing books on writing and using her name. Now, whether that was actually their name or they're using it as a pen name, you can't copyright a name unless it's unique, which is like really hard. You know, if your name is Kim Smith, that's not necessarily unique. You can't trademark that. So you can't really trademark a title. You cannot, or copyright a title. It's something that can be used. Same thing for an author name. But what was happening with Jane is Jane has built up a solid reputation in the industry for reporting on the publishing industry and craft and all things like that. And what had happened is someone was creating books that were obviously poor quality. It's suspected they were written with AI, and someone was putting out poor quality books on Amazon. And then they were using the name Jane Friedman to publish those books. So technically, was it illegal? That's where it's actually getting kind of difficult, because these books, you can't copyright or trademark a name. And so if that's that person's name or they're using it as a pen name, can they legally do that? I'm not a lawyer, I can't say, but I will say that it's a tough spot. And then because those books, it wasn't someone writing in sci-fi or something like that. It was someone also using the name Jane Friedman, putting out books on authorship and marketing and things like that. And so it became this big thing because not only were they added on Amazon, they were added to Jane's Author Central profile. So they're actually getting linked to her that way. And then they were also put up on Goodreads under her name and her profile there as well, leading people to believe that, hey, Jane Friedman, that we know, has put out these books, and she hadn't, and they weren't very good. And so what happened is she started talking about it on social media, and just that this is one of those problems that we're just bound to kind of run into as we figure out AI in the publishing world, essentially. I mean, scammers have always been there and they will always be there, but AI is making it so much easier to create junk content and put it up. And then the ease of self-publishing is a beautiful thing, but now it also makes it easier for scammers to self-publish and put out junk and scammy things. So this has, I mean, she got on some news channels. It really took a life of its own as people started talking about this issue. And originally, when Jane put a complaint in to Amazon, Amazon was essentially like, they can use a name if they want to, they can write a book if they want to. This did take on a life of its own. It did get in front of a lot of news channels and things like that. And what happened is that Amazon did eventually take those books down. They did remove them, which is, that's fantastic. I mean, they were really leveraging Jane's name and reputation in a scammy way. I wouldn't be very happy if someone did that under my name either. However, the question has now come up, okay, it was taken off of Jane's name. And, you know, people are saying, well, trademark, copyright, but you can't trademark Kim Smith if that's your name. So are you then expected to come up with a name that's unique? And how do you come up with a unique author name to trademark it? And all sorts of things going on with that kind of stuff. And same thing with your title. And so it was taken down for Jane, but the question now is coming up, okay, Jane got a lot of attention. She has a large platform. She got the news involved, and Amazon took it down. But what happens for other authors that's happening to, or has happened to, or will happen to? And there's no real resolve on that, to be honest. It is one of those things where we know it'll probably happen again. Amazon caved this time. That's not their standard. So how do we kind of put checks and balances in place for the future? And that's still very open-ended, as most things with AI, as many things as we kind of move forward with the opportunities in indie and self-publishing that comes with some negative things, is very much open-ended. On Goodreads librarians were able to remove those books from Jane's author profile very quickly, very easily. So that was easily handled on Goodreads, but the books were still up there. I mean, the books were still in the system. They just weren't connected to her author profile. But what happens when that happens? What happens if you're a world-renowned psychiatrist and you have books out on psychiatry, and then someone uses your name to put out psychiatry books that aren't good, or that do have poor medical advice or different things like that, and it's associated with you? Very open-ended. We don't have answers, but it's something just to know that's going on in the industry. And this is why I do think it's important. Put a Google alert on your name, put a Google alert on your title if it's unique enough that you're not going to get notifications all the time. And occasionally go search your name, go search your title of your books on Amazon, see what pops up. Certainly this is one of those things where it's like, well, typically you have to have a big enough platform or reputation for people to want to steal it, or to work off of it. So it's almost like, well, if you made it that far, then, you know, things to complain about. But also it's one of those things that it's out there. Scammers are out there. Unfortunately, we're not going to get rid of them. So it's just nice to be aware of them and to know what's happening in the industry. Maybe this will push Amazon to do more checks on works. I'm sure this is part of why I've seen more requests for copyright and publishing rights. So it's just one of those things. And can you put some type of like signature or a motto, or could you trademark a phrase and put all of your books have a trademark phrase or company name? You could do that, absolutely. And that's something where you could probably do it. And that's actually brilliant, Elaine. Now, of course, if people already bought the book, they'd have to know, they'd have to pay attention, but it's better than nothing. So I do think that both entrepreneurs, people with platforms, celebrities, and also authors are going to have to be a little bit more creative about that in the future. It's kind of crazy. Let's see. Are there book sales agents who can represent our books to schools and libraries? I've tried several different programs that send my book via e-blast, but without much success. So there are very few companies that will do direct sales pitches on your behalf that's not an e-blast. Typically, if they're doing that, it's because they're your book distributor, meaning that you're actually paying them and they make a percentage of each sale, or because they're your publisher's distributor and that's their job. They're actually a sales force. So as an indie author, there are very few companies that will go hand sell a book for you if it's not an e-blast. Because it's not how most companies work anymore. If you have a big publisher, let's say that you are working with one of the top 5 publishers, they actually have a catalog of books, obviously, for the seasons. And then they have salespeople who actually get in direct contact with like Barnes and Noble and bookstores and things like that. And they present books. However, they typically are really only highlighting the front list. So the 4 or 5 books, maybe 10 max, that are getting the most attention that season, or that they're pushing the most that season, they will highlight those 10 books and then they'll say, and we have a lot of other books in our catalog you can look through. So actually getting a direct sales pitch is not very common at all. More often, if you want a direct pitch to go in, not an e-blast, but a direct email, call, something like that, either you're going to do it yourself, whether you're traditionally or indie published, or you're going to find a VA who will do that for you, and you pay them by the hour or by the phone call, and you're kind of just paying them to present you and do the research and find people. But very, very few companies, I can't even think of any off the top of my head that are currently doing this, just because it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. And so you would have to pay them for that time and effort. And most authors, I find, don't have that ongoing budget. So, but VA, definitely you could find a VA who could do this for you if you get a pitch together and get all your details together. That could work for you, or you can do it yourself. Is Publish Drive by Baker and Taylor a good platform for indie authors? Are there any major downsides? Publish Drive is a great platform. It is mostly for ebooks, so it's not a print book platform. It's really based on digital assets, and it will get you into Baker and Taylor for ebooks, audiobooks, that kind of thing. Major downsides, I would say there are many major downsides. I will say that Publish Drive actually does charge some fees, and so most of the people and companies and publishers I know who use it have a substantial backlist. So they're not doing a single title. It's not a single author in most cases. It is someone who has a hybrid press or an indie press, and they are putting out multiple titles, and they need more support than, let's say, like Draft to Digital, which also gets you into Baker and Taylor for ebooks. So I don't think that there's big negatives in the sense. I just think that it's a larger program that may not necessarily be needed for the average author. So it depends on your goals and your backlist and your books there. Mike, I was saying a V as in Victor, a VA, which is a virtual assistant. So you can find a virtual assistant who would make calls or emails on your behalf. And again, typically you would pay them by the hour. Sometimes you'll have a contract where you're going to pay them, 10 hours a week, and they're going to do different things for you. Or it may be something where you're just doing a single project and you're paying them for that. And if you're going to have a VA pitch your book, number one, I'd recommend that they have some, if they're going to make calls, they need to have some familiarity with the book industry, because there are going to be questions. If they call and say, hey, are you willing to stock this book? Questions are going to come back like, where's the book available? What's the discount? Is it returnable? And they need to be able to answer those. So you either need to really prep them with these answers, or you need someone who's familiar with the book industry and can actually talk that, if someone goes, are there any trade reviews? They need to know what that is. If it's an email, if you're doing using a VA to individually email different schools and libraries, so you're having someone research people to contact and then email them, you can actually write kind of a pitch letter and have a one sheet available so that, excuse me, so that when they send it out, you're more streamlined. You've got the material right there. If they have a question, it's not an immediate answer. If someone emails me and I don't know the answer, I can take a minute to go find out. Whereas if I'm on the phone with someone and they ask me a question, I don't know the answer, I'm either going to stumble trying to find it, which is not typically going to represent you or your books well, or I'm going to go, well, I don't know, but I'll find out. And that works for one question, maybe two. But if it's 4, 5, 6 questions and it's, I don't know, but I'll find out. I don't know, but I'll find out. I'll have to call you back. You've probably blown your chance, because these people are busy. They don't want to take time out for a second call. So just things to consider if you are having someone call or email for you. But a VA, a virtual assistant. As a self-published author, should we be creating a one sheet, like a speaker sheet for each book? Yes, Deborah, you should. You should have a one sheet for every single one of your books, because you may need it. There are one sheets that go to like retailers where you're telling them about, my book's available on Ingram at a full trade discount with returnability. And there's that type of one sheet that is also used when pitching for trade reviews. And then there's also one sheets that you may use for other things, like a book signing, or for author chat or a book club, where it's more just featuring your book, not necessarily talking about the sales terms, but it's telling people about your book. You should absolutely have a one sheet for every single one of your books. And if you have a series, then you should have a one sheet that features your series all together. And if you have multiple books, let's say you have 15 books, you should be making your own kind of mini catalog, so that if someone says, I'd love to see all of your books, you have something that you can send them, whether it's a PDF or you have a back-end link on your website or something like that. You should absolutely have these materials available. So if a buyer or a bookstore or something wants them, you have them. Over on newshelves.com at our store, we do have a template for a one sheet. It allows you to make a one sheet directly just on Canva. So it's $3.99, less than $4, and you get access to our one sheet template. You can totally make these on your own. If you are comfortable with Canva, you can absolutely just make your own one sheet. But if you feel a little overwhelmed and you're not quite as design or tech savvy, grab one of the templates for $3.99. You can then drop in your own book description, your photo and things, but it's all laid out for you. So I just dropped that into the chat if you want to check that out. And colors and everything like that they're interchangeable. So it just gives you the template, the outline. And if you're watching a replay, or if you're watching on Facebook, just go to newshelves.com, go to our store, and it's right in there. We have kind of a basic color black one, and we have one that's kind of more children, whimsical, kind of friendly in there. But I do recommend absolutely that you have a one sheet. Let's see, a silly question. Do you always recommend to publish on Ingram or just on Amazon? Well, that's not a silly question. As far as publishing, if you're self-publishing, I get questions a lot about, can I just publish on Amazon? Well, sure, you can just publish on Amazon. So if you're publishing just through KDP, you can do your ebook, which you can put up on Amazon, which can be just up for sale, or you can put it in Kindle Select for Kindle Unlimited, which means that your ebook has to stay exclusive to Amazon, and you can upload your paperback on KDP for Amazon. And that means that your book's up for sale on Amazon, which is the world leader in book sales. So yes, you can just do that. You can also use a feature called extended distribution on KDP. And what that means is you check a little box and they say, yeah, we'll get your book in extended distribution. What that really means is they're going to take your book over to Ingram Spark. They're going to upload your book to Ingram Spark, and they will then put your book into the Ingram Spark catalog. So it shows up on places like barnesandnoble.com and Ingram Wholesale and bookshop.org and places like that. Here's why I don't prefer doing that, is because when you do that, when you do expanded distribution, I don't know if I was calling it extended distribution, it's expanded distribution. But anyway, when you do that, what happens is you're letting KDP be your middleman. They set your terms, they're taking a cut of your sales, because rather than you going to Ingram Spark and uploading your book to your paperback to Ingram Spark as well as to KDP, you're having Amazon do it. It's the same thing. It's just KDP's doing it and they're taking a cut for it. So why not go to Ingram Spark yourself, upload? There are no upload fees now, so it's free. Use your ISBN, because hopefully you've bought your own ISBNs. So you upload your ISBN, your same book, to Ingram Spark. So you get it in the Ingram catalog, to barnesandnoble.com, to bookshop.org. But you control the terms, you control the pricing, you control the discount, if it's returnable or not. And also, it doesn't have Amazon on it. Because if you go to a bookstore and you ask them to carry your book and they say, is it on Ingram? You're like, well, I'm in expanded distribution. So yeah, it's on Ingram. Cool. But it's on Ingram through KDP's account. And anyone in the business who knows what to look for can tell you almost immediately that that book is on Ingram from Amazon. Bookstores do not want to give Amazon any more sales or money. They're not going to order your book to stock in their stores. So it limits you in that way. And they set terms. So if you do expanded distribution, your book is automatically set at a 25% discount. Retail stores expect 40%. And then they also make it non-returnable, which bookstores often require. So you could just upload your book to KDP, and you can do that. I don't recommend it, because for one more step, for just uploading to Ingram Spark, you have more control, more opportunity, and you are not paying KDP to upload a book for you. It's not that hard. I've got a whole video on YouTube walking you through the process of uploading to Ingram Spark. So I personally do not recommend that you only do KDP. I feel like it's enough to get by, but why just get by when you can do better things and bigger things? So I don't personally recommend it. If you are going to do your ebook, if you're going into Kindle Select for Kindle Unlimited, so your book's exclusive to Amazon, all you need to do is upload your book to Amazon. No worries about anything else. But if you're not going into Kindle Unlimited, your book is not exclusive to Amazon. Why wouldn't you get it up on more sales platforms? Why wouldn't you go to Ingram Spark or Draft to Digital or directly to Kobo and Barnes & Noble and upload your book and give yourself more chance for sales? It's one easy step, and you could have more readers and more sales and make more profits. So again, you can, but I don't typically recommend it for those reasons. Yeah, can I address the problem with the ISBN numbers that start with 979 instead of 978? I can. So ISBN numbers for a really, really long time in the US have started with the numbers 978. However, we're publishing an awful lot of books lately. A lot of people are buying ISBNs. And so what has happened is that we've run out of 978 ISBN numbers. And so now Bowker, who in the US controls ISBNs at myidentifiers.com, that's the website, they've run out of 978 ISBNs. So now they're assigning 979 ISBNs. And what's happening is simply that all of our tools or programs, a lot of metadata has been so trained for those 978 ISBNs that it's rejecting 979 ISBNs as incorrect when they're not. We simply have to update our tools. So every once in a while, we'll see glitches where a 979 ISBN is getting, there are issues, it's getting kicked back from somewhere. This is something that's actively being worked on in the industry because 979 ISBN numbers are legitimate. I never saw one until, I want to say about 2 years ago is the first time I saw a 979 ISBN. So at first, there are just a couple of those ISBNs trickling in, but a lot of people still had 978 ISBNs. But now more and more 979 ISBNs are coming up as more people are buying ISBNs, as more books. I mean, guys, approximately 4 million books were published last year. And almost all of them require an ISBN. If they're in print, they require an ISBN. So that's a lot of ISBN numbers running through them. So it's something that's actively being worked on. It's not something I would over worry about. I've had multiple books with 979 ISBNs, no problems. If it does get caught up, if you are getting rejected or have a problem, then go to the entity. If you're uploading Ingram Spark and you have a problem, go work it out with Ingram Spark. Use their, their customer service. I believe Drafted Digital was having problems with their print on demand with the 979 ISBNs. They've been actively working on that. So I think it'll be ironed out sooner rather than later. It's not every 979 ISBN number, and it's simply that all of our publishing software, all of the things were trained for 978, and now we just have to learn how to include that 979. So hopefully it's not going to be a long-term issue. The question about why Amazon is not recognizing the ISBNs because of the 13-digit versus the 10-digit. Yeah, so this is part of why the 10-digit ISBN is no longer being used for that reason. So we used to kind of use the 13-digit and 10-digit interchangeably. Just get rid of the 978 and use the next 10 digits. Well, now you can see where that would be a problem because of the 979 and 978. So again, this is simply a matter of what has been in systems for years being reset and retrained. So sometimes Amazon is having problems with that because their systems have not updated to include these new numbers. Or if they have they updated every single title? It's a big undertaking. But again, everyone's working on it. It's not every title. It's something that they're kind of handling as it comes up and updating their systems as they constantly are and will. Speaking of updated Amazon systems, a couple of weeks ago, we had talked about how on KDP, when you're uploading a book, there was this big issue with adult content. So when uploading a book to KDP, it was asking you, when the categories changed, which was just a month or two ago, when categories changed, there was a question asking about adult content. Did your book have adult content in it? And it was such a slippery slope because people didn't know, what qualified as adult content. And if you clicked on adult content, did it mean that your book was kind of not being shown to anybody? And some people said it did, and some people said it didn't. And there was just so many issues because people who did have like spicier romance or different topics were saying, yeah, it's adult only content, but then their books weren't eligible for ads. They weren't showing up in organic searches and all that kind of stuff. And lots of people obviously complained to Amazon. That was a glitch in kind of the new update. They meant good things, but it caused some problems. So I noticed, I was in KDP gosh, 2 or 3 days ago, and I noticed that the box that used to ask about adult content that they were requiring people to fill out now has a different question. That box asking about adult content is gone. The new question here in primary audience asks about sexually explicit images or title. And this is a question you now have to answer yes or no. Does the book cover or interior contain sexually explicit images, or does the book title contain sexually explicit language? No mention about the interior of the book, and it is focused on sexual aspects, not on violence or language. So that has changed. I'm sure this is due to so many romance authors who had issues with it. And then reading age is still optional. And then I did actually click on the learn more because obviously hot topic. So when talking about the primary audience, let me move my face over here, you can see that it actually spells out sexually explicit images on the cover. Within the interior, for example, images containing nudity or sexual poses, and then sexually explicit language in the book's title or subtitle. Again, does not mention the interior of the book. And then that if you do say yes, it does have sexually explicit images or language, it does make it so that readers under a certain age cannot see it, and it may mean that you're ineligible for children's categories and certain other things. I don't know if it means you'll be ineligible for ads or if it will affect your searchability. Again, I just saw this a couple days ago, so I don't know how well this is going to work out. But I thought it was interesting that Amazon has heard that there was a lot of confusion over adult only content or, inappropriate for children and that whole controversy. So they have made updates to that, which you can see, I'm sure, if you log into your own KDP. The other kind of big industry news that we're all hearing about is Simon & Schuster seems to have found a buyer. Of course, there was the big antitrust case last year where the purchase of Simon & Schuster was, not allowed because monopoly issues. But it seems that Simon & Schuster may have a new buyer from KKR, and KKR is not a publishing company. They are actually like a media, a different kind of media company that look like they are going to end up buying Simon & Schuster. So that'll be interesting to see how that affects the publishing and book industry going forward. It's moving away from that kind of elite publishing group and kind of expanding. So we'll have to wait and see how that happens. And at the same time, a new lawsuit has come up kind of on Amazon for Amazon having a monopoly on book sales, specifically in the US, but US and UK. And so there's another antitrust kind of court case coming up about Amazon. This is not the first one. This has happened multiple times where people have brought court cases kind of saying Amazon has a monopoly, unfair advantage, and they have never passed. So we'll see what happens with this one. But essentially the court case is going saying that Amazon has a monopoly and that they are, as a publisher, specifically as a sales opportunity for books, that they have such a wide array of the market, and their accusations that they are giving their products and their publishing and publishing imprints advantages that other publishers and authors do not receive. So we'll see if that actually comes through, and we will see if anything happens with it. Like I said, it's not the first one, but Amazon, we know Amazon has a lot of the marketplace. We know, I mean, they sell approximately 65% of print books, so over 50% of print books directly from Amazon. And we also know that ebooks, it's estimated that 91% of ebooks are consumed on or through Amazon. So the reason why those estimates stand, and sometimes people go on the lower end of 80%, kind of more conservatively, but the reason why we don't know is because we don't have the full numbers for Kindle Unlimited and how many books are going through Kindle Unlimited versus outright sale, but it's in US and UK. So Amazon they have a corner on the book market. And then also being a publisher with publishing imprints. I think last time I checked, they had 16 publishing imprints. Some of them kind of come and go, but they have publishing imprints as well. And so when they have the main market for book sales as a publicly traded company for book sales, but then they also have a publishing house where they're selling these books and supposedly, accusations of unfair advantages, even though Amazon does deny those charges, that's where some conflict and monopoly questions kind of come up. So we'll have to see. Let's see, would you bother using an ISBN for a children's ebook, which is only going to be offered on KDP, Amazon, and no other platform? So on Amazon for KDP, ebooks are not required to have an ISBN, which again, Amazon, they have their own little market. So they assign a ASIN, Amazon Standard Identification Number. So you are not required to have an ISBN for an ebook going up on to KDP for Amazon. So if it's only going to be up on Amazon, you don't need to assign one. If you decide you want to take that ebook wide later, you can always assign one then. So if it's only going up on KDP, only on Amazon, and it's for a book you don't intend to put anywhere else, you don't need to assign an ISBN. It's just an ASIN. And if you decide later that you want to change that, you can always assign a ISBN to your ebook and use that elsewhere, because an ISBN is required for Ingram Spark and Barnes and Noble and all the other places. So that's when you would want to use it if you're going wide. All right, you guys, we're right at 11 o'clock. I think we got through our questions today. Thank you for joining me. You guys always come with the best questions. I love it. So I will be back here next week, same time, same place, 10 a.m. Eastern. I hope you join me. If you have questions and you won't be able to join me live, or you just don't want to forget them, you can email those questions into info@newshelves.com. I do save them up and answer them each Friday. So thanks for being here, and I hope to see you next week. Have a great weekend, everybody. Bye-bye.